This is going to be a weird thing for me to admit, but up until very recently, I've never seen Indiana Jones, barring the first film I've seen a couple times. As for 2, 3, 4, and 5, hadn't seen them before. Granted, Dial of Destiny is pretty new, but still. So today, I thought it'd be fun because I finally decided to go through all of them to talk about every film and rank them and tell you which ones I think are the best and which ones are the worst. Let's just get into it. Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I mentioned already that I had seen Raiders of the Lost Ark beforehand, and yeah, still a great movie. I don't really have much else to say about how good this film is. It's funny, action-packed, has a lot of entertaining characters, the villains are fun, it has a lot of violence in it. You know, music's amazing, John Williams has a great score as ever, and the set pieces are action-packed as awesome. Not really much else to say other than it's an amazing piece of work that I think everybody should take a look at. Temple of Doom. This is a weird one. I didn't hear much about this one going into it, but I will say what really threw me off was the tone of this movie, or how weirdly it changes from the first hour to the second hour. Now, to make it clear, the first movie balanced being pretty campy with being mature very well, kind of a similar way to Star Wars. But when it comes to Temple of Doom, for like the first hour, it's basically super light and campy. For the second hour, it's very violent and bitter. It's so weird. It's such a contrast, and when it happens, it really threw me off. Am I the only one who feels this? Please tell me I'm not. I swear this can't be weird to just me. I will say, though, I at least enjoyed the adventure. It was still a lot of fun, though I kind of wished it was blended a bit better like the first film. Along with that, too, gotta say, Indy's side characters this time around aren't as engaging. Again, I don't know if it's just me in this instance, but Wooly and Short Round were just kind of annoying for most of the runtime. Like, I didn't despise either character, but they were kind of loud, a bit more, I guess, in your face than, say, Marion in the first film, and I don't know, just wasn't as into them. I wanted to still make it clear, though, I still had fun watching the movie. I thought it was entertaining, and there was definitely a lot of charm and wit to it, though I feel like there were a lot of things that could have made this a better film than the first. But personally, I still think I prefer Raiders of the Lost Ark to Temple of Doom. But I'm not saying Temple of Doom is bad. It's still a good movie, just not as good. The Last Crusade. The final film of the series, or at least what was supposed to be the final film, and it's really good. It feels like we took a lot of steps back to that first film for this one. We're introduced to Indy's father in this film, and the two have very fun dialogue back to back with each other. Along with that, we're on the quest for the Holy Grail, and to me, this is a pretty epic way to end the Indiana Jones saga. Well, at least initially was supposed to be the end, but the Holy Grail is, well, the Holy Grail. That's like the perfect thing for him to find for the final movie. They also lightened up on this film again, which is kind of shocking considering this is the first film in the series with a PG-13. Like, I feel like the last one should have. The adventure's a lot more fun, it's a bit more campy, and they honestly tried to be a bit more wholesome this time. It's a little less jokey than the first film, but it's replaced with very sweet moments with Indy and his father. I really enjoyed this one. It's probably my favorite out of the three films in general. I will say, it would have been a pretty good ending if this was the last film. Unfortunately, we still got two left. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, this was an interesting one. As a kid, I actually have vague memories of seeing this one promoted. I didn't see the movie, obviously, but, you know, it was something that did catch my eye and made me think, maybe I should give that Indiana Jones thing a chance one day. Well, here I am, years later after that movie released. And, okay, I know going in, a lot of people really didn't like this one or were pretty mixed on it. And I kind of fall more into the mixed category. So, I'm sorry in advance to all the people who thought I was going to completely rip into the film, but I don't hate it. Now, don't get me wrong, I get a lot of the issues people have. The questionable CGI, some of the weaker action, and some very questionable story beats, all of which I do agree with, but I think the reason I don't really hate this film is because I can see a passion to make another interesting Indiana Jones film. I just don't think it really hit its fullest potential. Still, I'd say there was some fun action, some funny character banter every now and again, and overall, it's a solid film that I think could have just been polished to make it a great film. Didn't think it was the worst thing in the world, but I could see why some fans may have not been as into it. The Dial of Destiny. Well, you guys know I was very soft on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so you probably assume I really like Dial of Destiny as well. Well, you'd be wrong. Look, I don't want to call this the worst movie I've ever seen, like, not at all, but for what is the ending of this character's story, most likely at least, I'm pretty unimpressed with what they put out. Didn't really find any of the side characters that appealing. Honestly, I found them just generally kind of annoying. Didn't really like the villain, and honestly, the movie just felt slow. Like, really slow. This is a 2-hour, 30-minute film, and it really feels like it. And it doesn't even feel like that grand of an adventure, considering how long it really takes to go on the adventure. Like, the first hour is just running around in the hometown. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I was not into Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And to me, it was not a deserving end for this character. In spite of that sour ending, though, I still enjoyed most of the films. I had a lot of fun. It was exciting to go through all these for the first time. And again, I want to make it clear these are just more brief thoughts, so that's why this video isn't like an hour-long thing talking about all these movies. But if you had to ask me worst to best what I thought were, well, I'd say Dial of Destiny, then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, The Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and number 1, The Last Crusade. I don't know if that's the popular or unpopular opinion on this ranking, but tell me in the comments below what you guys think of Indiana Jones, and thank you for watching.